That tea bag in your cup right now, the one steeping in hot water, the one you drink every morning thinking it's healthy. It's not what you think. Pesticides, heavy metals, microplastics, artificial flavors disguised as natural. For decades, Americans have trusted major tea brands, the familiar boxes, the soothing imagery, the promises of wellness and purity. But what you're drinking is contaminated, adulterated, misleading. We investigated America's most popular tea brands. We examined pesticide testing reports. We analyzed heavy metal contamination. We exposed the truth about tea bags and microplastics. What we found is disturbing. This isn't just about tea. It's about normalized toxicity in products marketed as healthy. These are the dirty truths Americans need to know about popular tea brands. Let's expose them. Americans consume over 80 billion servings of tea annually. That's roughly 250 cups per person every year. It's the second most consumed beverage in the world after water. Morning tea, afternoon tea, evening herbal blends. Americans drink tea thinking it's one of the healthiest choices they can make. Antioxidants, natural ingredients, calming rituals. But here's what most tea drinkers don't know. The tea you're buying is not pure. It's not clean. Major brands have been tested and found to contain pesticides banned in the United States. Heavy metals like lead and arsenic. Microplastics leaching from synthetic tea bags. Artificial flavoring marketed as natural. And the tea leaves themselves are often the lowest grade possible. Dust and fannings. The industrial scraps left over after quality tea is sorted. In this investigation, we'll expose which brands tested positive for dangerous pesticides, what heavy metals are in your tea, and where they come from, how plastic tea bags are poisoning you with every cup, and why natural flavors in tea are anything but natural. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which tea brands to avoid and what to buy instead. Let's dive in. Number 8. Twinings, a British brand. Over 300 years of heritage. Marketed as premium quality, sophisticated packaging, higher price point than mass-market brands. Americans buy Twinings thinking they're getting superior tea. Traditional quality. British standards. Here's what independent testing found. In 2014, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation tested popular tea brands for pesticide residues. Twinings Pure Peppermint Tea tested positive for over 10 different pesticides. Multiple samples. Consistent contamination. One of the pesticides detected was monocrotophos. This is an organophosphate insecticide. It's banned in the United States and the European Union due to toxicity. It's a neurotoxin, linked to reproductive harm, endocrine disruption, and it was in Twinings tea. Peppermint tea marketed as pure and soothing. Another pesticide found was endosulfan. This chemical is banned globally under the Stockholm Convention. It's a persistent organic pollutant, accumulates in the body, linked to birth defects and neurological damage. Twinings claimed the levels were within legal limits. But here's the problem. Legal limits exist for individual pesticides, not for cumulative exposure to multiple pesticides simultaneously. When you drink tea contaminated with 10 different pesticides, even at low individual levels, the combined effect is unknown, untested, potentially dangerous. And this isn't just peppermint. Multiple Twinings varieties have tested positive for pesticide residues. Black tea, green tea, herbal blends. The contamination is systemic, not isolated incidents. Twinings sources tea from conventional farms globally. India, Kenya, China. These farms use pesticides heavily. The tea plants absorb chemicals from soil and sprays. Those chemicals end up in your cup. Twinings is marketed as premium. But the sourcing and quality control are standard industrial agriculture. You're paying for branding and heritage, not for clean tea. Number 7. Tetley, another British brand. One of the largest tea companies globally. Mass market presence in America. Affordable pricing. Yellow box packaging familiar to millions. Americans buy Tetley for everyday tea. Morning black tea. Simple. Reliable. Here's what you're actually drinking. The same CBC investigation that tested Twinings also tested Tetley. Tetley Pure Green Tea tested positive for over 10 pesticides, including chlorpyrifos. This is an organophosphate insecticide linked to neurodevelopmental damage in children. The EPA has attempted to ban it multiple times. Agricultural lobby pushback delayed the ban, but it's considered highly dangerous, and it was detected in Tetley green tea. Tetley sources from large-scale conventional tea plantations. India, Sri Lanka, Kenya. These plantations prioritize yield over quality, heavy pesticide use to prevent crop loss, minimal organic practices. And here's what most Americans don't realize about Tetley. The tea bags themselves are a problem. Tetley uses polypropylene plastic to seal their tea bags. When you steep the bag in hot water, microplastics leach into your tea. A 2019 study published in Environmental Science and Technology found that a single plastic tea bag can release billions of microplastic particles into your cup. Billions. Per bag. You're drinking plastic, not just tea. The long-term health effects of microplastic consumption are unknown, but early research suggests they accumulate in organs, cross the blood-brain barrier, potentially disrupt hormones and cellular function. Tetley is cheap, but you're paying with contaminated tea and plastic exposure. Number 6. Bigelow, an American family-owned brand, founded in 1945, marketed as traditional American tea, quality you can trust, patriotic branding, red, white, and blue packaging. Americans buy Bigelow thinking they're supporting a wholesome family business. Here's the reality. Bigelow sources from the same conventional tea farms as everyone else: India, Sri Lanka, China. The tea is not organically grown. Pesticides are used, and testing has found residues. But here's where Bigelow becomes particularly problematic. The flavoring. Bigelow's flavored teas like Constant Comment and French Vanilla are loaded with natural flavors. Look at the ingredient list. Orange pekoe and pekoe cut black tea. Natural flavors. What are natural flavors? The FDA allows manufacturers to use this term for any flavoring derived from plant or animal sources, even if it's heavily processed in laboratories. Natural flavors can include dozens of chemical compounds, solvents, preservatives, carrier agents. You don't know what you're consuming. The term natural is deliberately vague. In Bigelow's case, their flavored teas taste artificial, overly sweet, chemical aftertaste. That's because the flavoring is synthetic approximation, not real vanilla, not real orange. Lab-created compounds designed to mimic those flavors cheaply. And the tea quality itself is low-grade. Bigelow uses fannings and dust. These are the broken pieces and tea dust left over after whole leaf tea is processed. It's the scraps. The lowest grade. It brews faster. That's why tea bag tea steeps in minutes while quality loose leaf takes longer. But faster doesn't mean better. It means you're drinking ground-up industrial byproduct. Bigelow is marketed as quality American tea, but the sourcing is conventional. The flavoring is artificial. The tea grade is bottom tier. Before we go further, take a second to subscribe and hit like. This investigation exposes what major tea companies don't want you to know. Let's keep going. Number 5. Celestial Seasonings, another American brand. Founded in Boulder, Colorado in 1969. Hippie heritage, natural branding. Colorful boxes with whimsical names. Sleepy Time, Bengal Spice, Tension Tamer. Americans buy Celestial Seasonings thinking it's natural, pure, aligned with wellness values. Here's what independent testing revealed. Celestial Seasonings has repeatedly tested positive for pesticides. In 2013, Glaucus Research tested Celestial Seasonings products. 91% of the teas tested contained pesticide residues that exceeded U.S. limits. 91%. Nearly every product. The pesticides included propargite, banned in the EU due to carcinogenic potential, acephate, an organophosphate linked to neurotoxicity, and multiple fungicides and insecticides. Celestial Seasonings claimed the testing was flawed. They insisted their products were safe, but independent labs confirmed the findings. The contamination was real. And here's the disturbing part. Celestial Seasonings markets heavily to health-conscious consumers. The branding is all about natural wellness, herbal healing. But the sourcing is conventional agriculture with heavy pesticide use. And the company is now owned by Hain Celestial Group, a massive corporate conglomerate. This isn't a small Boulder hippie company anymore. It's industrial food manufacturing under wellness branding. The sleepy bear on the Sleepy Time box is marketing, not reality. You're drinking pesticide-contaminated herbs packaged as natural medicine. Number 4. Yogi tea, marketed as holistic wellness tea, Ayurvedic inspiration, positive affirmations on every tea bag tag, spiritual branding. Americans buy Yogi tea thinking it's the purest option available, aligned with ancient wisdom, healthy, clean. Here's the truth. Yogi tea tested positive for pesticides in multiple independent analyses. The same Glaucus Research study that exposed Celestial Seasonings also tested Yogi. Multiple varieties contained pesticide residues, including DDT metabolites. DDT is banned globally. It's a persistent organic pollutant, but it remains in soil for decades. Tea grown on contaminated land absorbs DDT residues, and Yogi tea sources from conventional farms where DDT was historically used. You're drinking banned pesticides. In tea marketed as Ayurvedic wellness. And here's the ingredient issue. Yogi tea blends contain natural flavors just like Bigelow and Celestial Seasonings. The spiritual branding suggests purity, but the ingredient list reveals industrial flavoring. Yogi is owned by East West Tea Company, which is part of a larger corporate structure. The Ayurvedic imagery is marketing. The sourcing is conventional. The contamination is documented. This is corporate wellness theater, not actual clean tea. Number 3. Tezo, owned by Unilever, one of the largest consumer goods corporations in the world. Tezo was originally an independent brand, bought by Starbucks, then sold to Unilever. Now it's mass-produced industrial tea with exotic branding, bright packaging, bold flavors. Marketed as adventurous and premium. Here's what you're actually buying. Tezo teas are heavily flavored. Look at the ingredient lists. Natural flavors appear in nearly every blend. The tea itself is low-grade, fannings and dust. But the real issue is what testing has found. Tezo Zen Green Tea tested positive for pesticide residues, including propargite. The same pesticide flagged in Celestial Seasonings products. Propargite is classified as a possible human carcinogen. And fluoride. This is a problem specific to tea. Tea plants naturally absorb fluoride from soil. Older tea leaves contain higher fluoride levels. Lower-grade tea made from older leaves and dust has significantly higher fluoride than premium whole-leaf tea. Excessive fluoride consumption is linked to skeletal fluorosis, dental fluorosis, thyroid disruption. Tezo uses low-grade tea. That means higher fluoride levels per cup, and the packaging is deceptive. The bold flavors and exotic names suggest quality. But you're drinking industrial tea. Pesticide residues, high fluoride, artificial flavoring. All from a corporate giant optimizing profit over purity. Number 2, store brand teas. Great value at Walmart, Kirkland at Costco, Safeway brand, Kroger brand. These are the cheapest options. Rock bottom pricing. And Americans buy them thinking they're getting the same product as name brands for less money. You're not. You're getting the lowest grade tea that exists. Store brand teas are contract manufactured. Walmart and Costco don't own tea plantations or processing facilities. They contract with the cheapest producers. Those producers source from the cheapest farms, use the lowest quality leaves, fannings, dust, sweepings from factory floors. It's not an exaggeration. The tea industry has grades. Whole leaf, broken leaf, fannings, dust. Store brands use dust and below. And the contamination is worse, because the sourcing is opaque. No quality control. No testing transparency. Independent testing has found store brand teas with the highest pesticide residues, the highest heavy metal contamination, lead, arsenic, cadmium. These accumulate in tea leaves from polluted soil. Low-grade tea from low-quality farms in polluted regions contains dangerous levels. And you're drinking it, daily, thinking you're saving money. Great value tea is cheap because it's garbage. Kirkland tea is affordable because it's industrial waste. You're not getting a bargain. You're getting poisoned at a discount. And now, number 1, the absolute worst, Lipton. The largest tea brand in the world, owned by Unilever, a massive multinational corporation. Billions of tea bags produced annually, available everywhere, in every grocery store, every gas station, every office break room, cheap, ubiquitous, the default choice for millions of Americans. Here's what makes Lipton the worst. Everything wrong with the tea industry condensed into one brand. Lipton has tested positive for pesticides in multiple independent studies. The CBC investigation found pesticide residues in Lipton Yellow Label Black Tea and Lipton Pure Green Tea. Over 10 different pesticides in some samples, including monocrotophos, a neurotoxin banned in the US and EU, endosulfan, banned globally as a persistent organic pollutant. Acetamiprid, linked to harm in developing brains. You're drinking banned chemicals in the world's most popular tea brand. And the tea quality is the lowest possible. Lipton uses fannings and dust exclusively. The absolute cheapest grade, sourced from massive industrial plantations across India, Kenya, and Sri Lanka. No quality control for pesticide use. No organic practices. Just volume production at minimum cost. The tea bags are synthetic, nylon or polypropylene mesh in some varieties. These leach microplastics when steeped in hot water. Billions of particles per bag. A 2019 study found that a single plastic tea bag releases approximately 11.6 billion microplastic particles and 3.1 billion nanoplastic particles into your cup. Billions. You're drinking plastic with every cup of Lipton. And here's the fluoride issue. Lipton tea contains some of the highest fluoride levels of any brand because they use the oldest, lowest quality leaves. One study found that some Lipton teas contained fluoride levels that could exceed safe daily intake recommendations if consumed regularly. Regular Lipton drinkers are consuming excessive fluoride without knowing. Over time, this accumulates, leads to skeletal fluorosis, dental fluorosis, thyroid disruption. And Lipton is marketed as healthy, natural, pure. The packaging shows green fields and fresh leaves. But you're drinking industrial waste, pesticide residues, microplastics, heavy metals, excessive fluoride, all from the world's largest tea company. Unilever doesn't care about your health. They care about profit margins, volume, market dominance. Lipton is cheap for a reason. It's the bottom of the barrel. The worst tea sold to the most people. And they're making billions doing it. So what should Americans actually drink? Real tea, from clean sources. Here's what to look for. Organic certification. This matters enormously with tea. Organic tea is grown without synthetic pesticides. The difference in contamination levels between organic and conventional tea is dramatic. Testing shows organic teas have little to no pesticide residues. Look for USDA organic certified brands, traditional medicinals, an American company, certified organic, independently tested. Clean tea, their herbal blends are actually pure, no pesticides, no artificial flavoring, real herbs. Numi organic tea, certified organic and fair trade, transparent sourcing, high-quality whole leaf tea, not fannings or dust. The difference is immediately noticeable when you open the package. You see real tea leaves, not powder. Pukka Herbs, a UK brand with US distribution. Certified organic. Ayurvedic blends made with real herbs. No natural flavors. No artificial anything. Just plants. And loose leaf tea from reputable sources. Buying loose leaf forces you to engage with quality. You can see what you're buying. Whole leaves. Visible quality. Not hidden in a synthetic bag. Harney & Sons, Art of Tea. Rishi Tea. These companies sell premium loose leaf. Organic when possible. Transparent sourcing. And avoid anything in a synthetic tea bag. If the bag feels like plastic or nylon mesh, you're drinking microplastics. Use paper tea bags. Or better yet, loose leaf with a strainer. The ritual is better. The quality is higher. Your health is protected. Here's what every American tea drinker needs to understand. The tea aisle is full of contamination. Pesticides in nearly every major brand. Heavy metals in low-grade teas. Microplastics from synthetic tea bags. Artificial flavoring disguised as natural. And corporate consolidation has made it worse. Unilever owns Lipton and Tazo. Hain Celestial owns Celestial Seasonings. These are not tea companies. They're industrial conglomerates optimizing profit. Quality is irrelevant. Your health is irrelevant. What matters is margin. Moving volume. Keeping costs minimal. Twinings and Tetley have heritage branding. But the sourcing is conventional, pesticide heavy. Standard industrial agriculture. Bigelow is American. Family owned, but still uses conventional tea and artificial flavoring. Celestial Seasonings and Yogi market wellness. But testing shows contamination. The branding is deception. Store brands are the bottom. Absolute garbage marketed as value. You're not saving money. You're consuming toxicity at a discount. Every cup of tea is a choice. Contaminated versus clean. Industrial versus organic. Cheap versus quality. You don't have to spend a fortune on tea, but you should buy organic. Avoid synthetic tea bags. Choose whole leaf when possible. Read ingredient lists. If it says natural flavors, put it back. If it's not organic, assume pesticides. If it's store brand or Lipton, walk away. Your body deserves better than industrial waste steeped in hot water. And if this is what we found in tea, what do you think is happening with coffee? With bottled water? With the entire American beverage industry? The contamination is everywhere. The deception is systematic. The corporations are profiting while Americans consume toxins daily. We're investigating that too. What we found will shock you. Because what Americans don't know about their drinks is poisoning them slowly. And corporations are counting on that ignorance. Subscribe for more American food and beverage industry exposés. Turn on notifications so you don't miss when we drop the coffee investigation. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay aware, stay healthy, and drink organic tea.